Here, you can exercise your rights to freedom every day without leaving your home. We don't just say, we do. It's the Stain City way.
Good evening. My name is John, and I'm a racist. I'm currently in recovery at the moment. I have about 9 months of woke time, but I realize that I could relapse at any moment. It's not a permanent thing. I know that there are spaces that are unsafe for me as a recovering racist. I stay away from taxis because it flares up. I try and avoid watching service delivery protests because I don't really understand them. And also, for some strange reason, watching sport with other men who are white. It does tend to bring it out a little bit. I do work the program. I know that just because I get mugged or high or drunk, the K word is never right, ever. And even though I remain secretly grateful for everything he's done for me, I do know that I renounce for Vut and all his works. All of them.
Ooh, they're so uncomfortable. Good day and welcome to another exciting episode of Real Talk with me, Anele. So it's been more than a year since he was last in studio with me, and we had a blast then. We're going to have a blast now. This witty and intelligent comedian spoke about being a businessman the last time, a father, his comedy show, his time in rehab. Listen, we basically talked about everything, but there's more. Here is the brilliantly funny, no-holds-barred comedian himself, Mr. John Vlismas. Hello there.
Hello there, how are you?
Hi, I was reading you are called the most important comedian in our country.
Really, by whom?
By a lot of reviews that I read to prepare for today.
I try not to read reviews.
Really?
Yeah, well, the audience gives you a review every 20 seconds. I think that's the one you need to listen to.
Ah.
You know. Because you start believing your own hype, and that's not good.
Yeah. That's the most refreshing thing I've ever heard from a comedian, actually.
Really?
When I asked them about reviews, because they were like, no, I don't take them personally, you know, people are doing their jobs. No one has ever said that, actually, I get my reviews all the time.
Yes, well, the audience will tell you how it's all going immediately.
Because for me, when somebody calls you the most important comedian,
yes,
it kind of feels like somebody calling a woman, you are the thinking man sex symbol.
I think comedy is important, especially now, just as a general rule of thumb. It's important.
What's threatening comedy at the moment?
Mediocrity is a big one. I think there's a lot of average comedy happening. There's a big proliferation of people calling themselves comedians. That's not always ideal. So that's a problem. And then I think there's a possibility we might get censored soon.
Oh, I heard
that. Possible. Yeah, and not just the hate speech bill. I think there's going to be other things. You know, like fake news, censoring journalists, intimidating people. Comedians will come. I think it'll come.
Do you not think money is also about to censor you guys?
How do you mean?
I mean, if I'm throwing money at you and I'm wanting you to be my face of something.
Oh, sure.
And you are, I mean, we call you no holds barred because that's who you are.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I'm like, hey, John, I am this brand and I'd like to give you 10 million to be my face.
Right, sort of Mbala noise comedy.
Yes.
Yeah, that could happen. But I think we all do that already because we're hypocrites. It's called corporate gigs.
Oh.
They say, we'll pay you a lot, but just don't rock the boat while you're on stage at this gig. Yeah.
Remember, Anele, no religion.
No religion.
No politics.
Please don't say.
And our CEO doesn't like green. So please, don't wear green.
He got a pedigree dog that got hit by a car, so please don't make jokes about pedigree dogs. Cost him 40 grand for that dog.
Oh,
and he got hit by a bus.
So the show's coming back, right? The
It is. It's back.
It's already back. Who says come back? Do you decide come back, or is there like a demand? Are people inboxing you on Facebook? Are people stopping you at the Pick and Pay by the fat-free milk?
Yes, just by the fat-free milk. It was a joint decision between me and some people who asked. So that was it. Eusebius said to me I should think about bringing it back. That was quite interesting. And then some other people who said they hadn't seen it yet. So it went to Durban, it went to Cape Town, came back to Joburg, but now it's in a very intimate venue. So I'm like we can feel each other's breath
Oh.
in this particular run. And I'm not swearing on Wednesdays and Thursdays
I've
and
heard,
Sundays.
because you want kids to come and watch it.
I want my trick students to ask their parents these questions while there's still time.
How difficult is it for you to not swear?
It's not that difficult. People think that I'm incapable. I'm not. I love swearing.
Yes,
I love
you
it.
do.
I'm deeply in love with swear words. They're like the problem children of the language. They're not bad words. They're just from broken homes.
They just need love.
Exactly. They just need a bit of love. You know, these are words that were not breastfed. You know, they just need
They weren't
some love.
held. They weren't rocked to sleep. They were
Yeah.
told to sleep in the cot, and they must just take themselves to sleep.
They were raised like Ray Donovan children, you know. So I love swearing, and it's a big release for me on a Friday and Saturday when I can. But the people who've come on the other days who are, you know, their world can genuinely be knocked off course by one other word. So I avoid those for the sake of those people, because I think it's too important. You know, once you swear, they go, oh well, he swears. Then they don't listen to anything you say.
I don't know if you listen to other comedians' interviews. But you work with them a lot, so you'd have to.
Yeah.
And I listen to them a lot, and,
Yeah.
I've listened to all of your interviews. You are one of the only comedians. Does that make sense? One of the only comedians.
One of the only, yes.
Yeah, I hope it does. Where when they're talking about their show, you know, when I was writing the show, and for me, I love that, because it means you're constantly reading and constantly writing,
Yes.
so that the show develops and you
Yeah.
know more and you're learning more, you know, about
Sure.
yourself.
Yep.
So what has the show taught you in writing and reading about it?
So it's my most researched show.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of reading on it. And what's happening is South Africans are writing books all the time on this topic, young South Africans particularly. So since I started the show, like Sizwe and Mphela Walsh wrote that book.
Yes, he was
Democracy and
he's
Illusion.
coming on the show next week, I think.
Oh, brilliant.
Sorry, please can I just move this, because this.
Yes, I don't know why this
it's
is
in the way. I
a
can't
very,
see properly.
very colonial item. It's
I really
just,
like it.
Do you?
I love it.
It's kind of pointless. It's pretty, but pointless.
I know it dies quickly, so I take care of it.
Oh, well, there
like
we
your
go.
swear words.
Nice. We all have our things. So new thinking is being put to print or in discourse. So I'm reading as I go.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm repeating the show. This run is 30 performances. So it's developing as I go. In this particular show, I've written some words with spray paint on the stage.
Okay.
And as the audience and I sort of get to each other's throats, new things come up, and I write them in front of the audience with spray paint. I add them to the list of words on stage. So the show is really morphing as we go. So it genuinely is.
So the landlord of the theatre, Peter Turin Theatre, is allowing you to spray paint your stage?
On the understanding that when I leave, I'll paint it all black again.
Okay, because I was about to call out your white privilege.
No, that's the one place in which I'm not privileged. I do acknowledge privilege, not in that least, no.
Do you touch on white privilege in The Good Racist?
Heavily. I wouldn't say touch. I would say I put my fingers straight through it and throw it at the audience in large lumps.
So last week, Friday, I was at a friend's birthday party. He is a white male who turned 28. I am a black female who's 33.
Right.
So obviously, when we've had the tequilas and the Jägermeisters
Yes.
and the wine, as South Africans, we're naturally going to get to the race issue.
Right.
And I'm upset with myself that I couldn't put in words, but obviously you understand what I'd had to drink.
I understand now.
What white privilege was, and I'm trying to explain it to them.
Yes.
But they do not get it. So if I say to you, here, John, you've got 2 minutes, please walk me through white privilege from
Easy.
a person who understands their privilege.
Yes, it's very easy.
Yeah.
I'm born playing a video game, and I'm brilliant at it, and I can win. I just keep winning. I get high scores. I keep getting the power packs. I keep getting extra lives and all of those things, and then suddenly realizing that before I started playing, older players went in and hid all the power packs from the other players, beat them up, and brutalized them so much that eventually they weren't even trying to win the game anymore. That's how I would explain white privilege in probably about 22 seconds.
Does that not get you into trouble then with your people?
Thank goodness. It's about time somebody got in trouble for pointing out the truth to those people. Let's just call them those people.
To those people.
Yes.
But I mean, you do.
I don't want my people. I don't want any people. I just want to be myself. I've reduced it down to like individuals on a very granular basis. I'm not interested in groups. I've never liked to belong to a group, ever. I have no real culture. Half Afrikaans, half Greek, ex-Zimbabwean, South African, atheist, vegetarian. What am I? I'm basically one of those kids you find at the SPCA. I'm a mix of, you know, I'm trying to become coloured. I'm colouring myself in slowly but surely.
So that you can tick every box at Home Affairs.
Absolutely. I want all of the IDs. I want all of everything.
So I was looking at your video and I was like, I'm so jealous. Like, he's like the perfect person for TV. Like, he's short and he's small and he looks good in a suit. Like, do you ever watch yourself and be like, I look good on TV?
I try not to watch myself on TV. I'm not that interested. And my partner finds it irritating when it comes on and I'm like, immediately just change the channel. She's like, how can you not want to, we were there. We all saw it. We did it. We think it's fine. Let's move forward.
We are going to have to learn to go to the kitchen when you come on TV. Listen, if you didn't have an opportunity to see his brilliant show the last time, you now have another chance. Tickets are available at CompuTicket. Make sure you do not miss out on this one. It's at Monte Casino. After the break, we'll find out what John was busy with this year. Don't go anywhere. Come back to us. So we're back in studio with John Vlismas, who's back by popular demand with his show Revelations to the Good Races. Over the past year, John has been doing anything but resting on his laurels. I understand you're studying?
I am. I want to say I'm gone back to studying, but I haven't gone back anywhere. I never did. So I'm studying for the first, really studying for the first time.
So did you ever attempt to study and then drop out?
No, I did a diploma in drama, you know, a long time ago, which was fun. But, you know, it's a diploma in drama. You know, it taught me the skills that I wanted to learn, but there's no academic rigor behind that, really.
And to be fair, and I don't know if you know this about yourself, but you are really smart.
Thanks. I don't know about that. This new thing I'm doing, I swing between overconfidence and sheer terror of feeling out of my depth.
What's the lowest mark you've received so far?
I got a merit pass for my first assignment. I'm working on my second one now. That's one below a distinction, but I'm very angry I didn't get a distinction.
Oh, a merit pass sounds like, thanks for attending.
Yeah, look, thanks. Even you, come on, you tried.
Okay,
you tried.
so you find...
I missed the distinction by 2%.
Oh, wow. But you read a lot. Do you find that the fact that you read a lot is making it easier for you to study?
It does help to be able to read huge quantities of material and try and rip out what you need. But I've got a problem, and then I try and read everything thoroughly, which you can't do.
Speaking of learning, in an interview that I listened that you did, you said age makes you a teacher.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then you carried on to speak about what kind of a parent you are. I wrote it down here.
Records.
Don't worry. You described yourself as a consistently bewildered parent.
Yes.
And the more you parent, the more you get it right, because age makes you a teacher.
Right.
Okay, and then you went on to further say that parenting is basically being an iPad 1, telling an iPad 4 what to do.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm glad you feel that way.
Right.
So how are you, like, what are you as a parent? Like, what are your parenting methods then?
Experimental.
Because you look like a cool dad.
Right.
Are you that guy?
No, I think, again, I swing between being quite a cool dad and being an uncool dad. And I'm okay with that. I don't think anything is something I'm learning in my studies. Nothing is absolute. Everything is on a continuum. So we spend our life swinging between, you know, the super cool and the uncool. Somewhere in between we find ourselves. Most people find themselves supremely confident and totally not confident in any one day.
In one day.
Maybe an hour.
Like, it's like Cape Town weather. In 10 minutes, you're confident.
Yeah.
You in a ball, like in fetal position, crying.
It's crazy.
Where do you find yourself?
Well, because I'm quite a disorganized human being in terms of creativity. I find that I create rules, I create structure wherever I can, and then spend my life wrestling with it. So as a dad, I would probably say the same. I had a very interesting conversation with a therapist who explained that some people want to prioritize rules, and some people prioritize the relationship. So in other words, you will sacrifice the relationship to stick to the rules, or you will sacrifice the rules to stick to the relationship. I'm finding myself between those two.
And then in an ideal world, you're supposed to find yourself in the middle where there's a bit of rule, a bit of relationship.
You know when to enforce the rules, and you know when the relationship. So I always say to my daughter, if you ever find yourself in trouble, whatever it might be, the very first thing you must always remember is that I will always first ask you, are you okay? And then we'll deal with the problem. So that's my way of saying to her, just come to me, and then we'll figure it out.
Can I be the first person you call when you're in trouble?
Well, that's what I would like to be, is, you know,
Yeah.
I need to know where the body is and how it got there, and then we can talk about what's going to happen next.
Because then I need to call a friend of mine.
It depends. You know, they say between a friend and a best friend, a friend will help you move, a best friend helps you move a body.
Okay, speaking of friends,
Yes.
10 comics are opening for you over the course of your
Yes.
of your time at Monte Casino.
Yeah.
Run me through your 3 favorite ones and why. Because I mean, people are going to see John Vlismas, right?
Yes.
And it's John Vlismas. I know you
Yes.
don't think it's John Vlismas, but
Right,
it is.
right.
Why are those people worthy of being on your stage?
Oh, it's really simple because they asked, and I had this thing of like be proactive. So I said, as long as you were registered as a newcomer at the Savannah Comic Choice Awards, you could phone, and if you phoned, I'd put you on, and they each get 3 spots. One will be a sold-out show, one will be a very quiet middle of the week, or a Sunday matinee.
Oh,
which
that's
is
amazing training, though.
yeah, so everyone gets 3 very different rooms. I must say, so far, just because he's so remarkable, I really like Bongani Dube. He's so full of energy, which I find is so different from me. It's a different kind of energy. But he did his first set in the worst Afrikaans I've ever heard. It was like, it's just very funny to hear. Then he did a next set all about being the problem with white people, and then the third one was entirely different. So all 3 of his sets were amazingly different, and I thought that was quite cool.
That's good.
I've seen 4 of them so far. So so far to me, just hardworking, very different sets at a young age. I think that's a sign of big things to come.
Okay, so we're going to see John Vlismas. We're looking out for Bongani Dube. Who else are we looking out for?
Gilly Apter, great female comic. You know, quite new on the scene. I haven't been to an open mic spot where she hasn't been. Every single club, because I do open mics.
Yes.
You know, when I'm in training, I go and sneak around and do gigs.
Get the rhythm.
And the harder the room, the better.
Yeah.
So you don't want to go play a full club. You want to play the difficult Wednesday, you know, hard 12 drunk people and make them laugh outdoors just before the bingo by the pool.
Oh, good heavens.
I have not been to a gig and not seen Gilly Apter there giving it horns, and she is very funny.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Gilly Apter.
Gilly Apter.
I mean, I'm laughing at her name already. So
Oh,
her
well,
job's
there
half
we go.
done.
That's a great start. That's brilliant.
Last person.
And then who else have we had? We had Claudine Allman. Do you know Claudine Allman?
No, I don't know Claudine
She's
Allman.
very funny. I don't even know who's going to be on the show tonight. I'm going there after this to go and see who's opening. I'm so
So it's
excited.
like an open mic on a proper show.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's like it feels like playing the Comedy Underground by myself for 6 weeks with one guest artist.
So you swing between comedian, business owner, because I know you do a lot of gigs and you put together some fantastic corporate shows that I've worked with you on.
Right.
And then, I don't know if you know this, but I mean, you kind of a mentor vibes to comedians.
Yeah, I mean, I have mixed feelings
mentor,
about.
though.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about telling comics what to do because I don't know what's going to be the next amazing thing.
But you see, you don't tell us what to do, because I say us because I've worked in your comedy shows.
Right.
You don't tell us what to do, you kind of show us what to do, which for me is the best teaching.
Right. Well, I mean, I have done it a lot. I get it wrong, though. I was very negative about Trevor when he started,
Yeah,
and that's
I know.
on film. So I got that one. I got that one wrong. Yeah, but anyway, so I don't know everything.
Who's to say that you being negative is not what made him work hard, and that's why
look,
he is where he is?
exactly. I mean,
Let's
you know,
just claim it, John.
Bill Gates said the internet probably wouldn't work. So what does he know? He doesn't know anything. But so I try and avoid giving advice. My big advice to young comics is don't take too much advice. And just listen to the audience. That's what you really have to do. And if you can figure out what they want from you, then you've got the aerials to be a comic. If you walk off every time and go, how was that? Dude, I can't help you, man. You're not listening, you know.
Yeah.
So, and again, I might find things not funny that might be the game-changing thing, which... So I'm loving watching. It's almost like a surprise, because every night when I go to the theatre, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to see or how this comic's going to work with that crowd. And then you just see magic. It's quite cool. I had a guy called Dinesh, and he was amazing.
Yeah.
He was very funny.
But what of, because I mean, Whacked, which is your company,
Yeah.
you're managing a lot of comedians. Obviously, you have to go to the shows of the Vernac comedians.
Yes.
Because if someone is...
I've directed one. I directed
But
a
you
show.
don't speak the
No, I
language.
know,
How
I
do
know,
you
I
know? How
I
do you know, John? How?
I worked with the comics, and they were all very like just so helpful, because everyone translated for me what was going on and explained the references. And
That's so cute.
But even when I say directed, I just put it together and we worked out a story that strung it all together. But like, you know, a lot of people think that Vernac comics, that's how they are in real life.
Yeah.
A lot of it's just character work.
Yeah.
So you got people that went to university and stuff playing
Yes,
some characters.
yeah.
And so it's not that complex. And the thing is, once you get it and you know more or less what's going on, you can really go with the vibe, because it's very funny.
Okay, be honest. Have you ever found yourself having to laugh, but you don't know what's going on. But you're like,
No, I do find I will never applaud if I don't know what's going on. Like that's brilliant. I'm not doing that if I don't know what you said. It's
because
not
you
going to
could
happen.
be speaking about like, you know, someone who's a pedophile, and
me.
then you are applauding.
He's discussing me or my mom, and then I wouldn't know. And then, yay, that's exact. Yes, she did that for a living. I'm not gonna. So you know, but I do get swept up in the energy. I love watching happy audiences.
Okay.
That's cool.
Okay.
You know,
right.
I'm not one to like just lecture to an audience. Although the show, some moments in it, there are a big dip in the enthusiasm.
Should they whip out their notepads and start taking notes?
Yes, there should be an exam for some people about racism.
Oh gosh, it's like those kids in varsity, the ones that take pictures or like they take a video of the lecturer.
Yes.
I hated them.
I mean, they want to watch it again.
But that's why.
Why you're going home to? Why must you watch it again?
Like, just take it
did
now.
it this time.
Take it now. Get it now. Okay, if you're at home and you want to join in the discussion, I know you're dying to, send us a tweet or a 20-second voice note to our WhatsApp number on the screen. Please, voice notes. You can't call us, because if you call us, then we can't do voice notes. And if you call us, John's not going to answer. I guarantee you, he's here. The phone is outside there. Okay, come back to us. I have to say this to you all the time. Don't call. I promise you, they probably call. Welcome back. So I still have John Vlismas here with me in studio. Mphela has joined us. His online presence with his witty, thought-provoking articles and commentary on celebrities and the entertainment industry attracts thousands of you around the country as well as the world. At any given time, he knows exactly what's happening in the media and entertainment industry. So there have been some things on my mind that I'd like to pick his brain about. First one being, how do you always know who's coming on the show before we announce it? Who is the mole inside my team?
The channel tells me.
Phil, It's not SABC3 because it's even before we tell SABC3 who's coming.
Yeah, well, people
Who's the mole?
talk.
And no one here is talking. Not that camera guy, no one, not you, the social media, no one.
But
So
you should know this. I mean, our industry is very small, so certain conversations that happen in certain places.
have you
end
bugged
up
our
to
office for? Really,
He's
John?
with the NSA. I think he's part of the intelligence community.
Something is, I promise you, we can sit and decide, okay, you know, John's doing the good races, let's have him on, we'll pay, he knows, and then he tweets it.
Wait.
It's
Testing.
this plant!
Testing. I'm telling you, it's the plant.
But that's good promotion, though, isn't it?
Look, I don't mind it.
Of course.
But I want your expertise, okay? You know when you cost the bank 20 million by making a mistake? That's a 20 million rand lesson. You can't get rid of that guy. That guy needs to stay. So this is what I want from you.
It's all about building good relationships with people in the industry. You know what I mean? I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make in this industry is they try to be celebrities before they build anything. So once you've built that foundation and people know that they can trust you with information, people know that you will not use the information that they give you in a malicious way, even though they want you to use that information, but they act like they don't want you to use it. Those kind of relationships are very important. That's why I always say that if I go to an event, I don't care how many celebrities are there. As long as I can meet the brand manager of the sponsor or somebody who's got like influence in whatever information that I need about that event or thingy.
Also,
or the
that's
brand.
good English for I have a snitch.
Very long explanation.
It was like very long.
Snitch.
And all you want to say is I have a snitch.
Snitch.
Okay, and I'm not telling you who it is. Okay, so let's talk celebrities.
Yes.
One thing I pick up about you is that you're not pushing things on social media. Do you know what I'm saying? You're not reliant on it. No. And I mean, you still do very well. So, I mean, I've had Mams Bongile Kumalo here, who's not like got millions of followers on Twitter, but her shows sell out.
Yes.
How is that happening in 2017 for you?
I'm not about that. It's what you just said, what Phil just said. People who base their, their celebrity on their fake online existence, not their actual. I just love doing comedy, man. If people want to come and watch it, I'm really grateful. But I'm not going to pretend something. I'm not going to show you what I bought at a clothing store, or like phone someone and go, "I'll be buying something expensive, and I don't want you to come there on Wednesday at 9 with a friend." So it's not a like a medium that I use it to maybe tell people where tickets are available and maybe take pictures of shows I'm proud of.
Yes.
But for me, it's not about that. It's about I love doing the work. That's the difference. there's a lack of authenticity that I struggle with. I don't mind if I'm the old guy in that sense. Like, it's cool, I don't mind. I will never wear a leather waistcoat without a shirt. I've made that promise to myself.
So why is it that we're seeing celebrities with massive social media following, and when they do other things, that following doesn't translate to that? Is it the way they're messaging it? Is it, what's happening there?
It's exactly what he's saying. It's because from the foundation up is not built properly. So you have a situation where people on social media, especially the fans on social media, a lot of them are not really fans. They're more like groupies, you understand? They flock to you simply because by flocking to you, that glitter that falls off you falls on them with retweets, or the fact that Anele retweeted me, so it means I'm important, stuff like that. But is that really a fan? Is that somebody who's gonna go and spend money on Anele's book? No. Do you understand? So that's why sometimes when celebrities get caught up in their social media image and their social media branding and whatever, I get worried because I'm like, you are losing touch with the people who will actually support you. And those people are not on social media because they don't care about what you post in today. Those are the kind of people that will watch your shows. Those are the people that will buy your books. Those are the people that will come to your shows. So it shouldn't be surprising then that you'll see people with huge numbers on social media doing projects and nobody's watching that show. Nobody's buying that. And you're sitting there thinking, why not? It's because those are not real fans.
And then people will buy a book that hasn't really been spell checked because they bought the hype, not the book.
Did they buy the book though, John?
Hey?
Did they buy the book?
Not really.
Yeah.
Or did they buy the emojis, or did they anything? Not really. So, well done to you. 'Cause you've done quite well, just because there's substance to what you do.
There's nothing wrong with one positioning themselves as a social media star.
Yeah.
Okay. All I need is honesty, because when you are honest about what you want and who you are, then you'll be able to monetize what you're doing properly. So there's certain people who will come and say, I want to be an artist, but they want to be a social media star. And because they can't be honest about that, they're not able to set up measures that will lead them to a point where they can actually make money.
Because I really find the people on social media who've got traction and who can make money from it are not celebrities.
Yeah.
So they become known through social media.
It's authentic.
Yes, because half the trends, when I go onto Twitter or wherever and I look at the trends, they weren't started by a celebrity with 2 million followers. They were started by a normal kid who's funny, on Twitter, he lives in PE somewhere, and he starts a trend, don't trust Eastern Cape gays.
But the celebrity law is killing that as well, because if you look at a lot of people who came up the ranks with Twitter and stuff like that, a lot of them are losing that credibility they used to have, because now they all want to be celebrities. Do you understand? Now all of a sudden they are offended by whatever little interaction they have with other people. All of a sudden they are blocking the very same people that gave them
my
that
haters.
status.
Of
course, all of a sudden they've got haters.
I love it. Everyone's got haters now in their career, which is, it's just a profile. Calm down.
It's funny. It's like Celeste said on a show the one time. She's like, he hasn't even released an album, but he's already telling us about haters.
Do you know what I mean? Well, hang on. There's a great barrier now that's going to stop a lot of that. 280 characters. Some people can't write that much.
Okay, so thank you so much for all your WhatsApp voice notes. Please keep them coming. We've got one for you, John. Yeah.
Hi, Anele and John. I'd like to ask John, has he ever said something in a comedy show where he was performing and he was like, I shouldn't have said that?
It's a great question, actually. There may be like I've been rude about 2 people in the history of my comedy that I wish I hadn't, actually.
I was going to say Steve Wolfman, then you said, I wish I hadn't, and then I just...
No, I'm very glad I've been rude about Steve. I think it's prescription, actually. If you're going to be a good racist, you need to be rude about Steve. But there were 2 people that I didn't feel deserved that kind of extreme... Because I do find extreme rudeness without any provocation really funny, because it's childish. And I find I am childish.
Petty goals, I love it.
Petty cruelty can be very funny. But there were 2 people, and I'm trying to remember who the second one was, but I remember the first. Anyway, those were the only 2. But on the subject of having an opinion that people think is offensive or whatever, no. Because Mark Banks told me always, don't say things that you feel you may need to apologize for later. And I've always kept that as a very serious mantra, because if you're just going out to shock people, then you are an idiot. If you use shock as one of your weapons in your kind of, when you want to change people's kind of perspective, then I'm cool with shock. It has to have a point and a reason, and you have to have reading behind saying something wild,
So if this I don't know what to call it, but it's currently happening and it's snowballing. And I feel like it's gonna get here. Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, Ben Affleck, you know, these sex scandals that are shocking. Obviously, the good thing about the people who are shocked is because they're actors and actresses, so they can act shock.
Right, they can.
Like,
can.
I
I
was
mean, they're
like,
so
oh,
good
gee,
at that.
Uma Thurman, thank you, babe.
Yes.
Please act shock for us, because
Yeah.
if you
Yes.
didn't know it was happening. When it gets here, and I have no doubt that
Well,
it
it's
will.
already starting. It started.
Did I miss out on something?
No, but
Danny Jordan.
And there are a couple of others. I think
Yeah.
it will filter down. And
But you know what? I hear what you're saying, but I doubt that it will get to the level that it is in Hollywood.
Why?
Because I mean, you look at what happened with Generation 16. South Africa doesn't have that kind of unity. We don't have it in the industry. It doesn't exist. Because if it existed, then what happened with Generation 16 when they got fired, and there was a moment there where we could have all just changed this industry for the better, and we didn't. And even people that are trying to talk about these sex scandals now, they're not willing to say names. Do you understand? And you have to understand that it's easy for a Rosie McGowan in Hollywood to not work for 2 years. She probably has like $2 million in her bank account.
Yeah.
A South African artist, they're just not working for a month. That means you have nothing. So a lot of South African artists are not willing to be honest about conversations like that because they feel like they're not going to be able to work beyond that. And because of that, I don't think that we'll get to a point where we have a Harvey Weinstein kind of situation. It's not going to happen.
That is so sad.
Yeah.
That is
I mean, the other thing that you need to understand that, I mean, you look at what's happening in our social media platforms right now, where we can't even have a conversation about anything anymore because there's this PC thing that's happening in South Africa where everybody's so trigger happy. You know, the smallest thing just triggers people, and you have this thing where everybody wants to have just one homogeneous voice. You understand? If you don't agree with what everybody else is agreeing, if you don't agree with the chorus, then you are a bad person, so you should be fired from your job. And that kills conversation and it stifles a platform that could have something like a Harvey Weinstein thing happen in South Africa. And that's what I'm saying. I'm pessimistic about it. It's not going to happen.
Is the problem not the fact that there's too many people on the come up and they're willing to take jobs that other people left?
Yeah, that. Okay. That also, but I think the main issue is not willing to have an honest conversation. We can't even talk about salaries in South Africa. You can't even ask a movie director, what was the budget for this film in South Africa? Because for some reason, by asking that, oh my God, I haven't paid Anele. Do you know what I mean? We are not there yet until we get to a point where we can have honest conversations about the business without attaching all this emotional stuff to it. Then we'll get to a point where we are able to tackle social issues and actually change the industry. I mean, like, I was so shocked the other day when I heard that a channel was reluctant to take a show about fashion reviews. You know, because they just worried that, oh my God, they don't want to be caught up in some body shaming, whatever. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are we there?
We just don't like the dress.
That's the thing. Do you know what I mean?
We really just don't like the dress.
About you, but you see what's happening? What's happening is that we're going to be sitting here saying we don't like the dress that you wore on the red carpet. And then it gets to social media, it's, oh my God, I was body shamed by Anele and Phil and John. You know, they are whatever. And then next thing you know, somebody's calling for you to get fired. And for some reason, we've just decided to surrender our common sense, whatever, to social media. And guess what? The suits might just call and say, Anele, get off the show.
If you haven't seen the post from a Joe Burger on Facebook that started some frank and necessary conversations between all race groups in South Africa, go and check it out and let me know what you think on our social media page, or you can get hold of us with our voice note. Many of you are saying that the Joe Burger page has done more in a few weeks than the government has done over 2 decades. What do you think? Stay tuned. We're going to chat about it. Welcome back to Real Talk. In studio with me today, I have the award-winning comedian John Vlismas and Mphela, South Africa's entertainment guru. So, a new Facebook page has become the talk of social media in just a matter of weeks. 22-year-old Lawrence van Niekerk, living in London, created the page Joe Burger, a platform encouraging people to ask those difficult questions to those of different races. And it seems there's a whole lot. Look, personally, I saw this, and then I saw the one post where, white people, what have you been dying to ask black people? And I just yawned. I yawned.
It's just rubbish.
And it shocked me that there's so many people like answering this thing.
Well,
Okay, you take it.
You guys are like, they're like so defeated. They're like,
We might share an opinion on this. It's rubbish. The whole thing is rubbish. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. It is so stupid and it's just vacuous. Like, dude, you're living in London. I'm so sorry, everyone. What do you want to know about? Like, why is your hair all... Dude, just, you're hysterical. You need a digital slap and let's just all breathe and start again. That's the perfect thing that white people need to believe that something constructive is being done when absolutely nothing is being achieved.
yeah. So we're all going to talk in circles on the social media thing. We're going to fight. It's going to become like a News 24 article where the comments happen and then we all go back to our homes.
Yeah, it's why I don't, it's one of the reasons I don't like social media, because we believe that democracy means that your voice is worth being listened to. It's not. It just means you have a voice. We have every right to say your voice is stupid. What you're saying is dumb. Anyway.
No, but I mean, it can be used effectively as well. I mean, if you look at what the country duty hashtag has done for the country, it's like those are like tangible results where people are being found through that, you know, problems are being solved through it. But now, people need to always understand that there's something called a fad. You know,
Those
and social
spinner
media,
things,
exactly,
yeah.
social media was made for fads. Do you know what I mean? This is going to blow over. I don't really think that it's going to solve anything, because the other thing that you need to understand is that other conversations that are happening on there are the same conversations that are happening when we're sitting at your house.
So here's my cry. And this is why, for me, the Joe Burger is one complete, it's a slap.
It's not even a Joe Burger.
Yes,
There's your
first he lives
first
in
flag.
London, like you pointed out.
The
So
Londoner.
please be from Joe Burger if you're going to be called the Joe Burger.
Yeah.
But also, in your life, when you're waking up in the morning, if from the time when you wake up and you get dressed and you go to work, you go to school, even if you don't have a job, whoever you interact with, until you go to bed, if during the course of that day you did not interact with somebody of another race, that right there is the problem.
Yes.
And when you're interacting with these people from other races, why are you not on a level of being able to ask them those questions that you're dying to ask a black person? Like, you're this black person dying to ask a white person something, and the only way you can do this on a social media page.
Look, but that's the same question that actually ask the black people that are hanging out with people like that.
Yeah.
Because it's not only what, I always say to my friends that, you see, the problem about white privilege is not that it's just white people who are feeling it and are exercising it.
Yeah.
It's the fact that we as black people enable it as well. I live in Parkhurst and I can't even eat around Parkhurst because you go to this restaurant and I ask for the bill. I'm here with John. Ask for the bill. Guess where the bill is going to go? It's not going to go to me. It's going to go to John. And there's a black person serving me. So by
Look, in those instances, we
I'm
don't
not having dinner with
in
you.
those instances, we don't mind white privilege. You're like, oh, give it to him, then give it to him. then.
We'll let it slide this one time.
You're just like, you know, I'll get the land later. I'll get the land tomorrow.
So we also have to say to our black people and say that, okay, you two need to, I mean, another perfect example is, remember that video, that UP video, where the girl said that don't let Zamanish see this. And stuff like that.
Oh,
Yes.
the little cheerleader there.
Exactly.
Who was calling us all sorts of words.
Yes. What was said for me about that video is that, oh my God, there's a Zamani who's probably hanging out with these girls every day, who's never had a conversation with these girls about race. You understand? And this is how he's gonna find out how these girls feel about people that look like him or her, if that's, do you know what I mean? So my point is, we also need to bring black people into that conversation of saying, this is not just a white person's problem, it's our problem as well, and we need to be able to talk to our white friends and say, hey,
And the
You have
only
to see
time,
colour.
the only time you're fighting racism is when a white person skips in front of you in a line.
exactly.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, that
Yes.
can't be the only time you're fighting
No.
it. You must be able to have these conversations with people that you call your friends.
Exactly.
Yes.
And if it means that you're not friends anymore after that, then it's fine.
Yes.
Then it's fine.
Penny Sparrow is not really the biggest threat to this nation's problem.
Yeah.
The problem is the friends of Zamani.
Yeah.
That's the real issue.
So when we had an episode, I think it was about a week and a half ago, on males and, you know, the whole masculinity thing.
Right.
And one of the speakers said, you know, I have to curb it and I have to fight it, but it starts in our WhatsApp groups as guys, where we tell, so if a guy says something sexist or misogynist, I should be like, listen, dude, that's not cool.
Yeah, and the longer you let it slide, the more it becomes entrenched. Yeah.
So now, for you, you know, the good races.
Yes.
Is that what you're on about, that each white teach another white, like,
Exactly.
because these videos are coming fast and heavy. Then you see some Makulupas, they're beating up black people who work for him. And I just feel like the anger is short-lived.
Marches.
And then we march, and then we upset, and then we move on. Like, what's there to be done?
So the Good Racist title is exactly that, from just rehab, because I'm a bit of an expert. The first point in a process of fixing something is admitting the problem. So I'm saying, as a 44-year-old white South African, at this stage, growing up when I did, the best I can hope for is to be a self-aware racist. Now, racism is not that I wear khaki and I go to a rally. It's these structural things that are constantly running without any interference.
When you can give somebody a job, will you automatically go for a white person, even if you don't know them, but just because they're white?
Yeah, things you don't even realize, like admitting privilege, like you said just now. Why is it like such a big difficulty to say, I shop at Woolworths. There's no doubt that I'm privileged. Like I'm actually overprivileged. I shouldn't even go there. It's a bad idea. So the first thing is to start the show by going, hi, I'm a racist. And everyone goes, oh, because now he's going to ruin his thing. What do you? And then you see relief on black people's faces going, one guy, whew, he finally, like he said it. He said, yeah, we heard him. So that's the thing, is we need to be a better type of racist. That's the best we can hope for at this time. I see better behavior in my daughter and the way she interacts with her friends. I can see that there's been evolution. If I look back to my grandparents, I can see that I'm an evolved version of them. You know, so yeah, nature will do some of it, but then you can help that along the way. We don't have to deny everything until we die. That's not an ideal way to go.
If you want a whole lot more of this wisdom and a whole lot of laughs, then make sure that you go and check out John Vlismas' show, The Good Racist, at Monte Casino from the 18th of November until the 28th, eh?
It's on now until about the 28th of November.
Excellent. If you cannot survive without social media and follow celebrities all around the globe, and you need to know what's happening and who did what to who and why and what are the consequences, then make sure that you come back after this. Phil is staying. A big thank you to John Vlismas. After this, it's Phil and I on the couch. You're watching Real Talk. And welcome back to Real Talk with Anele. Fast becoming one of my favorite people. Phil Mphela is still in studio with me. Over the weekend, there were numerous topics trending on social media. These were the top 3 according to our Phil. The first one, which one? Okay, let's talk about the video with Anele and Jessica Nkosi.
Yes.
Okay, first things first, I get this link on the WhatsApp groups, because you know that WhatsApp groups are the biggest skinner in the world. Yo, if you want to find out something, go to somebody's WhatsApp. So I get this link and I follow it and I see this video. I didn't know Anele.
Yeah.
Who is she?
She's an actress from Mubango.
Okay,
yeah,
cool, but I could see that she's a fly girl.
Yes.
And then Jessica Nkosi, and they are chewing cash, according to them. Please unfold for us.
Yeah, well, Anele shared the video where she's got like cash on a plate, and she said she's chewing cash and stuff like that. And of course, the public was some, you know, this is South Africa. You know, people are starving.
Yeah.
You know, why are you doing that? And then something else happened. People started recognizing that one of the guys in the video is actually a guy from another video that went viral, of guys with a suitcase with a lot of cash.
And fidelity bags.
Yeah, there was some allegation that was a heist. But just to be correct, it was never proven.
That it was a heist. Because you can hire Fidelity to come to your gig to fetch money. So don't look at Fidelity bags and be like, oh, Colin Chauka, you know? It's not the case.
But but I think that the gist of it was just that, I mean, like, Jessica being the more well-known of the two.
With her
case, and she's got this clean image and this, you know, gorgeous, you know, image. And people were kind of shocked to see that, oh my God, those are the people that you hang out with. You know,
are we holding South African celebrities to a higher moral standard because they are closer to us? Because if Puff Daddy had to do that, I don't think we'd have an issue.
Absolutely. And you know what? If there's one thing that I will not fault this industry for doing, it's exactly that. We don't need to have Hollywood like delineate what celebrity is for us. We can create our own type of celebrity, and that's what's going to sustain us. You see, one of the reasons why our celebrities are in trouble and they end up getting into financial trouble is because they're trying to emulate the American way of living and whatever. But if we started creating our own standard of celebrity, then we wouldn't have to deal with that. So if the only thing that we ask from our celebrities that just don't do certain things like that.
On a personal note, both those videos left a very bad taste in my mouth.
Exactly.
I just felt like, don't floss it.
Yeah.
You know, keep it to yourself. But then again, that's just me.
Yeah.
You know, somebody else is like, no, guys, if that is success, according to their standards, then.
And, you know, and the beauty of open discussion is that, I mean, like, not everybody's going to agree on it. I mean, there are certain people who are like, leave them be. You know, if that's how they want to project their lifestyle, let it be. And some people were just saying that, I mean, like, it's a joke. You know, everybody's pulling stunts on social media, whatever their reasons are. But what I would not want to see is people stifling that conversation, because especially Jessica has fans.
Yeah.
And if the fans are saying, we don't like this, you don't
Heed
just
their
shut
call.
them down or whatever. Hit their call and say,
Yeah.
hey, you know, I erred, I shouldn't have done that, and just move on. But then if you start making it a big deal by saying, oh, you are haters, oh my God, whatever, why are you judging me? Then you're making it into a story, and it becomes something that it shouldn't be. You know what I mean?
Okay. Quickly, we've got 1 minute left.
Yeah.
Reality stars doing everything Papa Penny says is going into hip hop.
Okay, it's also a thing about South Africa, and the fact that for you to have a sustainable career, you have to have several revenue streams. You know, that's a sad reality about our industry, that you can't just be an actress and just make money from that paycheck.
Yeah.
You have to do other things. So I don't have a problem with them doing that. What I have a problem with is just, you can't just be a jack of all trade and master none of them. Because that ends up killing your brand. I mean, you look at a big star, you know, when she went into reality TV and books and stuff like that, that kind of like diluted her brand power and brand cachet.
Do you think she's dented her brand a little bit?
Yes. Yes, she did. She did. She didn't have to do it, you understand? Because we saw her as this big star, there was a mystique around her. You know what I mean? And once she opened that door and she can't close it again, you know, you started seeing flaws. And when you started seeing flaws in a masterpiece, then it's not really worth as much as you would love for it to be worth.
I totally agree with you. I think she has dented her brand. But the one thing I believe about Bonang, and I know, is that she's like Kim Kardashian. Just when you think, oh, well, this is over for you. Remember when Kim divorced Chris Humphries?
Yes.
We were like, it's over for you. She came back, what a backstroke. We're like, huh? And I think Bonang's like that, and I hope she's going to do that. Yeah. I really hope she's going to do that. But I agree with you. There was no need for the reality show. There was no need for the book.
Not now.
Not now. Yeah,
yes,
of course.
Not
like
now.
in a few years' time. And also, like, planned well.
And the other thing is that, I mean, if you're going to venture into something...
We have to go, Phil. My word, you will be back. Calm yourself down. He talks more than me. Have you ever? Listen, I'd like to thank my two wonderful guests for joining us today. What an insightful conversation, an entertaining conversation. I hope that you had fun too at home. John Vlismas, make sure you go check out his show, entertainment blogger, Mphela. Follow Phil on his social media pages and get those tickets at CompuTicket for John's thought-provoking show, Revelations to the Good Races, at the Peter Turin Theatre at Monte Casino until the 26th of November. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, on the channel where the stage is yours. Hey, Marawabuaya.